Hi, good people. Welcome to Funky Redhead. And today's video is all about people you meet through hair. The strangers you don't expect to speak to, but somehow your hair opens that door. We don't always realize it, but hair has a way of sparking conversations, whether it's a compliment, a curious question, or just someone wanting to connect. So let's begin with everyday moments like talking to a cashier, a barista, someone in a line behind you. Sometimes all it takes is a quick, I love your hair, for a small connection to happen. Suddenly you're swapping stories about hair dye disasters or why you chose a certain style. And these little exchanges can feel ordinary, but they remind us that people are paying attention. And sometimes that tiny spark brightens the day. So many times, not so many times, but people who approach me about my hair usually want to know when my hair is very long, they want to know what bundles I am wearing. And I have to tell them, no, I'm not wearing bundles, it's my hair. And then they come close to me and they're asking, talking to me, but they're scrutinizing my scalp because they want to see if there are tracks or there are braids underneath it to be sure that I'm speaking the truth. Then there are those who want to know what hair color is that. And then I have to tell them that it is not one particular color. I dye my hair red and different reds every all the time. So if I told you the color that I used last, it is not going to give you the same color I have on my hair because I have so many different reds on my hair. So that sparks another conversation. And then it leads to sometimes to people saying, my hair doesn't grow. And then I'm like, what do you mean your hair doesn't grow? And they give me all these excuses. And I'm like, no, your hair can grow. If you're not suffering from any particular disease or anything like that, your hair can grow. Are you using this? Are you using that? Are you doing this? And you find that they're doing the bare minimum, bare minimum. Sometimes they don't even know. Lots of people, quite a good fraction of people don't use conditioner. And I look at it as disposable income. A lot of people I speak to are random strangers on the street and stuff like that. I mean, anywhere. And it's because that money, if I feel your hair is an investment. If you're going to invest in your hair, you have to invest in your hair, whether it's just going to a stylist, but also in the products. Some people didn't even know about conditioner, that they needed to use conditioner because we live in a dry, arid climate, and that your hair needs that added moisture and that time. So you're using these stripping shampoos most of the time, and then it has no help. So things like that happen, and then there's so many other conversations. Sometimes it's just somebody telling you, I love your hair. There was a lady who told me, you are so brave to wear that color. And she was like, I can't even believe you. She was like fascinated. She found it funny, but she said, you are so brave to wear that color, because my hair was bright, bright red. I'm sure I had just bleached it and then put the red on top so it stands out. And then there's also children. They don't say anything, but they gravitate towards me, even babies. They look at me and there's this, their eyes are following you, or the kids, they're looking at you, and I know it's just the hair, it's the color of my hair. They're like, oh, we have never seen this before. But it's that curious thing about them. It's like, why is your hair that color? And they're looking at you. They don't mean anything by it, but they're just curious. They don't ask. These kids haven't asked me, but I just see them looking at me and, following me with their eyes and stuff like that. And then I guess for some of us, it will be traveling. When you travel, people may comment on your hair as well. So now you have sometimes a traveling companion that ends up, become friends, in a way. The questions you ask you about your hair are like small bridges between us, between them and you, and they would not have spoken to you otherwise. And then in summary, it's this is about life connections, and that the real takeaway of this whole thing here now about your hair as a conversation starter is that the real takeaway is hair isn't just about style or color. Sometimes it's the start of a conversation, a compliment, or even a smile that makes a stranger feel less like a stranger. Sometimes it's a beginning of a new friendship because you exchange numbers as to, okay, can you help me with my hair? Let me know what I should do. Okay, this is my Instagram handle, this is my WhatsApp handle. And that sparks up an unexpected connection in life. So I really would love to hear from you what the most surprising or funniest thing someone has ever said to you about your hair. Did it turn into a conversation you didn't expect? I've had very specific random situations where I've had maybe three in the entire years that I've been alive, three different men or two, where either my hair was in a ponytail and they just held it, or my hair was out. One of my friends, who was not a friend of mine, walked into her, we were in college at the time, walked into her studio, and he came from behind me. I must have said hi, turned around, continued talking, and my hair must have been out. And he just took his hand and just squeezed it, and that was it. I didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. We didn't strike up a conversation. It wasn't intrusive. It wasn't uncomfortable. It felt more like a brotherly thing to me, and I was slightly shy, but I never said anything. I just let it go. I didn't. But people do that. I went somewhere once. Somebody pulled my ponytail. I had a what do you call it? A top knot at that time, just random. And I feel it takes a certain kind of man to have the gall to do that. You know. So drop your story in the comments below. I'll love to read them. And if you like hair videos like where hair meets everyday life, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.